Hey friend, welcome back to the Word with Wit. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about time management, and honestly, God has been working with me on this one as well. So as I'm learning, I'm just trying to share what God is revealing to me. So I came up with this acronym, PACE, to help you to remember these things, and I really hope it helps. So the first tip I'm going to give you is to pray. I know I always tell y'all pray, read your Bible, all those things, but really this is a big step, because if we're going to be making plans and we're trying to plan our day or plan our week or plan our year, we need to involve God in that, because if we get caught up doing the wrong thing, it's just going to take us longer to get to where we need to be, and God's going to have to redirect us and all the things. So I've found personally that the first thing that I need to do whenever I'm planning or trying to plan is to pray and ask God to help me to plan according to His will, and to also steward my time and resources better. That's a big deal, because sometimes we can be working really hard on the wrong things. I don't know if you all are familiar with the story. I believe it's in Luke 10 about Mary and Martha. Mary was sitting at Jesus's feet, and Martha was in the kitchen trying to prepare a meal for Jesus. And she got frustrated because she was like, "Don't you see Mary sitting down while I'm in here doing all this work?" And Jesus corrected her, and He was like, "Mary has chosen the right thing because she's doing what is important." Sometimes we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of the world and hustle culture that we forget to put God first and make sure we're spending time with Him and prioritizing that time in communication with Him. But if we don't surrender our plans to Him and we're just out here building our own empire, it's going to come crumbling down, especially if it's not within His will for our life. So first things first, pray, ask God to help you to create a schedule and stick to it, and to give you the self-discipline and the wisdom to know what to do. After you've surrendered your schedule to God, you want to start with your next step, which is going to be to aim. In this step, you're setting your sights on your goals. So write down all your goals, both short-term and long-term, and then write down the baby steps you need to take in order to achieve those goals. As you're writing down your goals, you want to make sure that it serves the kingdom. A lot of times we may get caught up in how it's going to serve us, how it's going to make us better, but is it beneficial to the kingdom? If your goal is to have money, to be rich or whatever, make sure you're planning to use that to be generous and to give and to provide. You just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, whatever you're chasing after, aligns with the kingdom and God's purpose for you. Proverbs 16:3 tells us to commit our actions to the Lord and our plans will succeed. The next tip is going to be calculate, and this step really helps me with time management, because I don't know about you, but I will plan to do a bunch of things, and then when the day comes and I get overwhelmed and I don't do any of them, or maybe I do one or two. Either way, I don't end up completing everything that I had planned, nor do I finish the most important things. So for me, it helps me to group things based on what I'm going to be doing. So if my goal is to record 3 videos this week, I'm going to set aside a day where I'm doing research, set aside a day to do planning, and sometimes I do those at the same time depending on how many videos I want to do. But planning, research, planning, recording, editing, and uploading. So I'm going to plan all of that based on order of importance. So obviously I can't record the video before I do the outline, so I need to make sure I schedule enough time ahead of time to do my outlines and my research, so that I can be prepared when it comes time for me to sit down and record. And this would be a top priority thing on my list. So I know during the week that I have to take my daughter to school, pick her up from school. We all go to the gym as a family, or try to at least. My son has meetings on certain days of the week, and my other son, he's doing homeschool during the week. So I have to make time for all of the mom things that I have to do, as well as the things that I have to do for content creation, and of course make time for God. So I try to plan my day based on that. First, I take my daughter to school, then I spend time with God. I work on whatever I need to work on for my content creator stuff, and then I go pick up my daughter from school. We usually go to the gym or to the library or whatever things that I need to do while I'm out, because at this point I've gotten dressed and I'm ready for the day, so I can run any errands that I need to do at that time. And then I come home and we have family day the rest of the time. So we cook dinner or whatever we need to do. So with that being said, I have to plan my activities according to my responsibilities. I try to do all my stuff that I can during the day for content creating because I can focus on it versus doing it when they're at home and having kids in the background talking and making noise and all that stuff. So anyhow, I try to plan according to my responsibilities in a sense. And like I said, I do have to prioritize what needs to go first. What do I need to do first in order to be successful for the rest of the week? It's important to remember that sometimes things don't happen the way we planned them, and that is okay. We can change our schedule and tweak it as needed. Maybe you have 2 things on your to-do list every day or 3 things. You just want to make sure that it's manageable. And even if you add more, just add some lower priority things on the list that day. So that way, if you don't get to it, that's okay. But you want to make sure you do the most important things first. Remember, Proverbs 16:9 says that we make our plans, but the Lord orders our steps. So if it doesn't go the way we planned, it's okay. We know that God still has us. We know He's still working it out. The last tip is ease. Yes, take it easy. You need to rest. Don't overburden yourself with a whole long list of things you cannot get done in a day. I can tell you from experience that if you overwork yourself, eventually you're going to experience burnout, and then you're going to be discouraged, then you're going to be procrastinating and not doing anything. So it's better to pace yourself and take your time, rest as needed, making sure you're getting a good night's sleep so that you can wake up and think clearly and be more focused. Sleep is so important. I urge anyone who is not familiar with the importance of sleep to look into it, because your body needs to rest. Your brain actually works things out in your head so that you can think clearly the next day. Your body heals itself and repairs itself. And whenever you wake up, you feel refreshed. That's why if you're really tired, you can be grumpy, you can be foggy, you're more prone to accidents, your emotions can be all over the place. So it's really important to rest. Don't give in to culture's way of doing things like I'll sleep when I'm dead, or team no sleep gang, whatever. Don't give in to that, please, because it will set you up to be dead sooner than you realize. And like I said, you're more prone to accidents. You don't want to have a wreck or mess up something important at work or in your life, whatever, because you just neglected to get the rest that you needed. Also, make sure you're reflecting. So at the end of the week or at the end of the day, whichever one is easier for you, just look back on the day or look back on the week and see how much of your list you got done and where you spent your time, and if there was any time wasted, and how you can do better next time. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just make sure you're taking that time to reflect and to rest. We all need it, and God gives us rest. He tells us that His yoke is easy and His burden is light. So just make sure you're taking advantage of that. And if you're giving in to hustle culture, just know that that is not God. I'm not saying that you can't move with the spirit and work a little harder every now and then, but if you have been working hard for years at a time and you're not resting and you're not taking care of yourself, I don't believe that is God. Even God rests. It says after creation that He rested, and He even gave us a day to rest on the Sabbath. So it is very important to make sure that we are resting as well. Psalms 127:2 says, "It is useless for you to work so hard from early morning until late, anxiously working for food to eat, for God gives rest to His loved ones." So if you're serving God and you're not resting, you really need to rethink who you're serving, because God gives you rest. He's going to make sure that you have everything that you need. He's going to take care of you. So if you haven't surrendered that area, I encourage you to do that, because it has helped me so much in my life. I was living in the hustle culture. I was working 60-hour weeks with 3 children as a single mom, and trust me, it did not help me. My children were out of line. We weren't as close, and I was just stressed out all the time, and I was working so much I didn't even have time to spend the money that I was making. And every time I would get a lot saved up, things would happen and I would have to spend everything that I had. So don't give in to the hustle and bustle of the world. Just trust God and just keep surrendering to Him, and just lay down those idols, lay down that self-sufficiency, and lean into God. He is Jehovah Jireh. He will provide for us and He will help us through. So that's all I have for today, but I really hope this video has blessed you. If it has, make sure that you like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone else. It may help. And if you have any time management tips, please share them in the comments below. Help us out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what helps you. I love you all. I will see you soon. Be blessed, friends.